I mean, before it was like 1, 2, 3, we hooked up and I just don't get it.
Okay, we're up.
I'm on our Facebook page.
I have us live streaming on YouTube.
Oh, okay, even better.
So it goes right to our YouTube page where all of our other meetings are.
Okay. So let me see if I can get to the YouTube page. Oh, lady, stop talking. Okay, let's just find New York City REMSCO. Thank you. So where the hell is it? Oh, well, I believe you. If you tell me that we're on it, we're there.
Yeah, we're on.
New York City REMSCO. For goodness sakes. Okay, well, I'll believe you. That's fine. Okay. Thank you very much, Joseph. Now you can stay. You need to give me back the host and to turn this thing on. Lucky me.
Okay, let me see if hopefully if I make you the host, it will not turn on the thing. So
I am the host now. Thank you.
okay, my thing still says that we're streaming.
Okay. Yeah, no, it says live on YouTube. Just wish I could see it on my.
Looking at it from a quality perspective, our protocols are used.
Got the old stuff here. Okay, I'm just going to turn this off and not worry about it. I'm going to let people in now. Thank you so much, Joe. I really, really appreciate it. Then we're going to sit down and figure out why I can't do this anymore.
Okay, like I didn't try it on the Facebook, but it's on our YouTube page. So
Yeah, I actually prefer YouTube. So I'm just admitting everybody. God help me.
Hi, Marie.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, we had a few minutes trying to get us live streaming to YouTube so we don't get in trouble. So Joseph to the rescue.
Okay, Marie, did you reach out for a chair for the ambulance committee?
Did you get my email? Because I said the person we had asked can't do it. And
No,
I had asked.
I did not get your email. Hold on.
No.
Let me look through all the emails that I've accumulated over the day. I do not see it here. Do you want to send it to me again?
Okay. Which, is it the Verizon account?
Any account you wish.
Okay. I'm just going to turn for a minute.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, the ambulance committee did not meet last time.
No, they did not. We had a merged meeting.
Right.
That's why it's only one set of minutes.
Right. But on the agenda, it says the minutes, so there aren't any.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, machine, let's go. Sent. You know what? I'm just going to resend everything. Come on, you stupid computer.
Oops.
Which email is this? Okay, I just sent the
Okay,
REMSCO meeting notes. I'm sending everything that I sent you today. I'm sending it again.
okay.
Send this again. Okay, let's do this one more time. Just give me one more minute. I'm going to send everything.
No problem.
Right, just send. I can't wait to go back to in-person meetings.
Tell me,
This is a pain in the neck.
not to complain, but I've been sitting in front of the screen since 10 o'clock this morning, straight Zoom meetings,
Oh my God.
without a break.
Yeah, no, I've had days like that. It's just, it's no fun. Oopsies. Come on, let's. Okay, so it's ambulance, REMSCO. Okay, I sent you a bunch of things. Everything else I'll just show on the board.
Okay.
Let me see who I have to admit now. Waiting room. Admit all. Dove, I hope that's water.
If it's not, you should be sharing.
Yeah, really. Everybody is muted, so if you want to talk, oh yeah, right. We know. That's the fake bottle. We know what that is. Okay.
Marie, while you're looking around there, see if we have a quorum for the NYC meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that we have one for the ambulance committee. I'm going to take attendance right now. Let's see who I see here. Oh.
I got a whole package from you now.
Okay. And whatever you don't have, I have here, so.
So if we do have a quorum, why don't we start the ambulance committee meeting? Let's call that to order.
Mhm.
And just so that we have it official, can you take a roll call vote?
Okay, please answer when I call your name. Dov Jacob,
Present.
Denora Claudio,
She's no longer part of this committee.
who replaced her? That was yourself, Grace?
I replaced, I guess,
Okay,
it should be me and Christine Mazzola on the
Yeah.
committee.
I have Christine as the alternate.
Yeah,
Bill Goffin, I see, is here. Daniel Rodriguez,
He was replaced by Jonathan Matamoros.
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, John Johnstone.
Yeah, we're both here.
Yeah. I thought I fixed this list, obviously not. James Downey? I know I saw James before, he was here. Yeah, there he is. Is Jerry here, Jerry Gelbard?
Yes, I am.
And David Matansky? Mikatansky? No?
He's here.
Scott, he's here, okay. Scott Olansky?
Yep.
Okay. Vinnie Branco?
Present.
Okay, and Nadija Langsam is here. And Nancy Benedetto.
here.
Thank you. Okay, so we definitely have a quorum. And I have everyone who's here recorded, will be on the guest list.
Great. So first of all, welcome everyone to the first meeting of this new year of the ambulance committee. We do not yet have a chair for this committee, so I guess I will be doing it for today. In compliance with the governor's open meeting law waiver, we are having this meeting by Zoom, but we are both recording it as we speak, and it is also being open to the public via YouTube simulcast, so anyone in the world can listen to this meeting. Any any votes that we have will have to be done by a roll call vote to ensure that, number one, we comply with the open meeting law, that votes are not secret, and number two, that we know only the proper people can vote. If I was to use a poll, then anyone who's here could vote, even if they're not members, and the same thing would go for REMSCO. So we'll do this by the a little bit more time consuming of roll call votes. Before we continue, I do not know if you're all aware, but I'd like to congratulate our very, very own Marie Diglio for now being the executive director of all of REMSCO. And yes, I know, but congratulations.
Congratulations, Murray.
Thank you.
And she's got a lot of work. She does have help from
Congratulations.
Thank you.
congratulations. And now you know her phone number and you know how to reach her, and the buck stops with her. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Just to let everyone know, I'm sorry, we may have someone from the state coming in if they're not already here. Ryan Greenberg asked to join us, so I'm not sure if he's here or not yet.
If he shows up, we'll let him talk.
Okay.
So if you looked at the agenda, it says approval of the June 30th, 2020 ambulance committee minutes. There was no meeting. There was only a REMSCO meeting. So therefore we will move on to the correspondence report, which I do not have a copy, but Marie, you have it. So why don't you read it to us?
Okay. Correspondence is pretty short, but intense. Lincoln Hospital during July was identified as a thrombectomy capable center. You all should have gotten a copy of the REMAC advisory that with the updated primary stroke and thrombectomy list. we have a bunch of enforcements, only one of which is from New York City, a Latasha Wright, a Staten Islander. And I believe she may have worked for the fire department, so I've been working with them, and that's dealt with. The names will be published so you can check your own list in case you have any of these people hired. We have Thomas Dean, and he's from Saratoga. And okay, and that's it, except for two other things. We did receive an expansion CON from Glen Oaks Volunteers. They want to expand to the territory that was made available when Bayside volunteers had their certificate revoked. But now we also have a letter in opposition from the current president and board of directors from Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps. They have reconstituted themselves, and they are putting in a request that we postpone the review of that application, but that's something that this committee needs to discuss once we get to that point in the agenda. And that's all I have for correspondence.
Okay, thank you. So we now move to that. We have both a Glen Oaks VAC expansion application. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to see whether the report is complete. If it's complete, I'm not sure that we're allowed to postpone it. I don't know. Marie, you may have to find that out. Number two is we now have this letter asking that we postpone it based on a reconstituted, the other company, whatever what the name was. I missed it.
Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Right, Bayside Volunteer. So the first thing is, did anybody read the Glen Oaks expansion?
That was one thing I wanted to have at least we have 10 days to deem it complete. And it's better to have 2 or 3 members of our committee, hopefully one person from every sector, look at it. You know, it shouldn't just be me looking at the application.
Okay, good. I thought that maybe someone would have done. So do we have, number one, a volunteer from each of the sectors to look at this?
This is Jim Downey. I did get a chance to review the application. I only found one thing missing, the copy of a DOH 3414 ambulance service certificate. Each of the pages on the affirmation of fitness and competency indicated they were associated with an emergency medical service, but they didn't include the copy of the ambulance service certificate. But that's easily remedied.
Okay, but I might add, since technically it is missing that.
It is not. Point of order.
I'm sorry, what?
Point of order, Chairman.
Sure, go ahead.
As per the checklist provided by REMSCO and the information provided by DOH, the operating area certificate is not required of the application. It is verified during competency and fitness by the Department of Health. The individual certifications that have been mentioned by Mr. Downey are the EMT and medic certifications, which were provided in the application. So that part has been remedied.
That's a good point. Thank you very much.
I respectfully disagree with that interpretation.
Okay.
It's clear on the affirmation of fitness and competency that the ambulance service certificate has to be submitted.
And Marie has it.
If Marie has it, that satisfies the requirement.
Okay. Did someone else read it? We wanted a second person to read it. So we have one from the volunteer sector. Do we have anyone from the commercial sector who's going to volunteer to read it to make sure it's complete?
Don't all jump up at once. Who's not here that we can make read this?
Scott.
I was gonna say the same thing you did, Joe. Well done, well done.
Poor Scott.
That's Scott.
Scott,
Okay, now,
Scott is here, though. He's just being quiet.
is he here?
I could have sworn he said he was here. I just spoke to him before.
I do not see him on the list unless he's here under a phone number and not on with his name.
You know what? Let me see if he's. I let everybody into the waiting room, but he might be out. Here we go. I just admitted 5 more people. Okay. But Scott was not among them.
Okay, so we will ask him to do it. In the meanwhile, okay, I will ask Marie to contact the state to find out what we do when we have such a situation.
Well, let me tell you, I did call the state.
Excellent.
So
What did they say?
let me just, okay, Scott will do a review. Okay, we need, so we have someone from the volunteers, someone from the private sector. Would be nice to have someone from the hospital sector review this. So, I mean, that's either Bill Goffin or Dominic Battinelli, poor guys. So it's really not that much to review. And we have a checklist. Just take a, will you do that, Dominic? Just
Yeah,
check it.
I'll
Thank you.
look at it. Like, I have it already. I'll look at it. I'll finish looking at
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's better that we have some people from the committee do it rather than just have a staff member do it. Okay, so let me tell you, I called up Dana Jonas, tried to get Dan Clayton. I couldn't get him, so I spoke to Dana. And he said his interpretation is that once we get the application, any opposition that is received really is part of the public hearing, and that we should not hold the application up for that, and it should be part of be brought to the public hearing and be spoken there. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. I think when something, you know, like this happens, we need to consider it before we go forward. But
the public hearing, I'm sorry, I thought the public hearing could not bring anything in that is not presented in the application. So how is it that it can be discussed?
I think it's brought forward as opposition. We're allowed to accept letters of opposition.
The other party can oppose it. Now, I have to tell you, as you all know, and or if you didn't know, New York State turned over our last decision regarding a certificate of need. And it appears to me that their reasons for doing so have now opened up the floor that a certificate of need for almost any reason whatsoever, okay, can now be approved or will now be approved. Notice the bar is now extremely low. And that's my personal feeling. But nevertheless, they have spoken 2 levels. And so pretty much if Glen Oaks comes up with a pretty good, any reasonably good reason, I think we need to take it very seriously and move on. So I would think, Marie, if you at least got that from Dana, we should move it on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough people here yet to say it's complete. I would like to say that we could take a vote, if someone would make a motion.
Can you just hold on 1 minute, please? I'm sorry. We do have the representatives from the Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps, and I think we should at least just listen to them.
Right now.
Because that's the fair thing to do, and because we're not going to make the decision here. It'll
Right.
go to
Marie,
REMSCO.
before we listen to them, and we should certainly listen to them, the question is simply at this minute, whether it's complete. Not whether.
How could it be complete if no one, people haven't responded to it yet?
Let me finish. Nancy, please let me finish.
Okay.
I was going to say that someone can make a motion that's subject to the review for completeness by the 3 individuals, one of which has already spoken, within 10 days, that if they deem it complete, it is deemed complete. Okay, since we really should have done this before tonight's meeting, I assume we didn't get this 5 minutes before.
Well, we received the hard copy yesterday. We received the electronic copy the same day that I emailed it out to the committee members.
You
Okay,
did- you should not be allowed to chair two meetings. That's all I'm saying.
okay, I hear you.
Just this one time, Joe.
Watch just 1 minute, and you're gonna be the chair of this committee. Just 1 more minute, Joe.
First of all, I'm not even on this committee. I'm on REMSCO, not this
You're
one.
on the committee. Okay. I'm just gonna say, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you're on the committee.
Oh,
So
thank you.
anyway, what's your pleasure, folks? I'm not gonna make any motions now, but someone want to make a motion?
Vinnie Barranco, I'll make a motion to deem it complete after the review of the three members. That's what we've done in the past.
Subject to the review by the three individuals, no later than 10 days from today. Is that correct? Is that your motion?
That's correct.
Is there a second of that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. We now open this motion for discussion. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion on this motion, Marie, please do a roll call vote from the members of the committee.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat the motion? I want to be certain I know what I'm voting on.
Absolutely. The motion is,
Go
Marie,
ahead,
did you write it down?
I tried to. Subject upon review of application and finding it complete, no later, oh my gosh, you know what, can you just repeat it, because I
No
wrote
later
down.
than 10 days from today, it be deemed complete.
That is
Subject to it being deemed
That's
complete.
what I said, subject.
Okay. Just making sure I'm hearing correctly.
Yes, it's hard, the voices aren't coming through clearly on Zoom.
Yeah.
Subject to it being deemed complete by the three members that we've just discussed within 10 days of today, we will then, as a committee, deem it to be complete.
So just have a question. Once, if those three members deem it complete, is the ambulance committee then also giving its opinion as to whether or not it's complete, or is it only up to those three individuals?
No, it's up. We are giving them the authority. We're giving the authority to the ambulance committee as a whole right now, that if the three people say it's complete, then we are saying it's complete. Since I don't think every one of you want to start reading it, or even going to volunteer to start reading it. So if the three of them come say to Marie,
Okay.
that's the motion. If they say it's complete within 10 days, then we as an ambulance committee will deem it to be complete. That is the motion I heard from Vincent. Am I correct?
That is correct. Also, I'd make a suggestion to put a fourth member from the municipal side on that, just to review it.
Is
That
there
it's complete
somebody
review.
here who wants to volunteer for municipal? There aren't too many sitting around the table. I can see one, two, maybe.
Yeah, it's Chris Mazzola and Grace Cacciola.
Yes.
And Matt Lindner is also on.
Oh, okay. You're the chief, Grace. You decide which one of your people is going to do this.
I will review it along with Matt Lindner. Matt Lindner will be the individual responsible for reviewing the whole document.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Can you just?
I would like to be part of that review. Thank you. May I?
Absolutely. That would be wonderful.
However, anybody else? Hearing none, I hear no further discussion. Marie, roll call vote.
Right. Marie, we have to take Matt Lindner off. It's a conflict of interest. He is a member of Glen Oaks.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point.
Thank you. Okay, so it's Nancy Benedetto, Grace Cacciola, Scott Orlansky, Dominic Battinelli, and James Downey already reviewed it. Okay, so subject to being deemed complete by the 4 people within 10 days, the ambulance committee will deem the application complete. Okay. Please answer yes or no or abstain. Dov Jacob,
Yes.
Grace Cacciola,
Yes.
Bill Goffin.
What is that?
Someone's on their motorcycle.
Mute everybody. Please mute everybody, and then they can unmute themselves one at a time.
Okay. Hold on, let me just.
If you make me a co-host, I'll do it myself.
Okey doke. Hold on, let me make you a co-host so you could do whatever you want. Just give me a second. And. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to admit a few more people. And. Okay, where's your digital? Let's make you co-host. I can only make you a host. I cannot make you a co-host.
Why?
I don't know, but here, I'll make you the host for now. Why not?
Why not?
And then I'll take it back for council.
If I let.
Okay. Come on, you. Okay. Okay. So you all are able to unmute yourself. Bill Goffin,
Yes.
John Johnstone,
Yes.
James Downey,
Yes.
Jerry Gelbard,
Yes.
Scott Orlansky. Okay, so he's not here. Vincent Barranco,
Affirmative.
Yadidra Langsam,
Yes.
and Nancy Benedetto.
Yes.
Okay, so it's unanimous, carries.
Okay, now at this point, as a courtesy, although we're not dealing on the matter itself, I think is appropriate to let the representatives of Bayside have a few moments to speak to us.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Capo, and I'm the new president of the Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Unfortunately, I heard about this not too long ago, that Glen Oaks was applying for our territory. Because of our previous administration, they're the ones that, I hate to say, screwed it up. They did not contact anybody in the Corps, and I found out they did not contact anybody in REMSCO and so forth. At the present moment, we are rebuilding the ambulance corps. Our ambulance are running. I have people that are interested in riding again to form crews. We're finishing our building. We also have mutual agreements with Little McDouglaston and Baycom. So giving our territory away to Glen Oaks, I understand why, but we're here now. I'm semi-retired. I have no problem handling this whole situation. And trust me, there's a lot to it than just this, to reconstitute the Corps. I'm asking that, from what I'm hearing, it can't be stopped. That's what I'm getting to the gist at here. I would like it to be stopped so that we can at least come back and service our own community. Glen Oaks itself are far enough away where if they had to respond to one side of Bayside, EMS would be there first. Fire department or one of the hospitals would be there first. So this type of takeover, I find ridiculous. The community members that I know, I've been in this community most of my life, excuse the phone, and many people know me that I was part of the Corps, asking me when we were coming back. So I've been trying to get this going. I have an executive board, a trustee board We have full control of our bank accounts, full control of our building and our ambulances. So what I'd like to do is give me some time to get everything in order and let us come back and operate. I'm talking with Little Neck, Douglaston, and Baycom as well. If I have to, I'll get a bus up and running and post one of my buses at one of their locations until our location is completed. Once we get our operating license back. So I'm asking you to just give me a chance. I understand again why this was done. Unfortunately, the two idiots that ran the Corps chose not to communicate with you. And I'm here to communicate. So any questions, or am I allowed to do that?
No, I think you made a good point. And I think you realize that we can't stop it now. I don't think we have the authority to do that, but you will have time between now and when they set up the public hearing. And at the public hearing, you'll have full brain to bring in all the points you're trying to make. And at that point, the committee, the ambulance committee, will then have an opportunity to vote on the merit of what you're saying versus what Glen Oaks is saying.
Now, do I have to bring my lawyer too?
That would be an excellent idea.
Okay, because we do have a core lawyer. I don't want this to go.
They bring lawyers in. Everyone brings lawyers in, and the lawyers make a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't want to bring this to that extreme, but if I have to save my community, because I do live here, I will take any and all that I can do to get our territory back and to open up our ambulance corps again.
Certainly have that right.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, Henry Earhart.
Yes.
President of Glen Oaks Volunteer Ambulance Corps.
Go ahead.
I appreciate what Mr. Capo said. He and I had a discussion a few weeks ago when he reached out to us and I reached back to him. This is not something that we did, and excuse the euphemism, on the cold bones of the Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps. As council staff knows, we have reached out, council staff has reached out, our elected officials have reached out to the prior leadership of the Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps well over 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, offering operational assistance, not interested in taking the area, offering operational assistance. We never heard back from them. We heard a little bit back from them and then they dropped off the radar screen. It's some 2 years now since the administration there surrendered the certificate to the state of New York pending a regulatory action. It's almost 5+, almost 7 years since they've been serving the community.
No,
This
sir,
is a long time situation. It's not a recent situation. We also serve part of Community Board 11 in the Oakland Gardens, Bayside area. So it's not like we're not part of the community. We have members from Bayside also. We're quite capable if we need to place an ambulance in the area or in a garage to do that. So this was something that we thought of over a period of time because we didn't want to leave a hole in the area between all of the East Queens volunteer ambulance corps. I don't know what the situation is internally with Bayside. I'm not aware that Mr. Vaccaro and Mr. Madeira have relinquished their positions. I don't know what bylaws were followed or not followed. I don't know if the people there have standing, and this is no disrespect intended to Mr. Capo in the group, but those are issues that I think the Attorney General may well have to sort out. But the fact of the matter is that right now, that ambulance operating certificate was surrendered to the state and does not exist.
Thank you very much. So both of you made very good points, but neither of us are going to make that decision today, obviously. And the process will move forward, and there will be a public hearing, which I'm sure we will hear great detail from both sides. At that point, the ambulance committee will be able to make some kind of decision. It would be out of order for us to discuss this further or to make any decision today. We're not making any decision. We don't have the authority to do that before a public hearing. So
I respect that, Professor. I know you're detailed when it comes to procedure, so I certainly defer to you on that.
okay, so that's great. We hear the points. Everyone here has now been educated, and people, even if you're not on the committee to read the application, I encourage you all to read it, so that when we have a public hearing, we can discuss this further, and then we'll have something for real to discuss. Today, we have really nothing to discuss. So I appreciate that both of you spoke, and both of you make points, important points, which I'm sure the committee will take into a lot of discussion. This is what usually happens. So let's move on. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is review of new applications for transfer operating authority. Maria, are there any addition ones?
No.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Thank you. Ambulance committee tag reports. Has the ambulance committee, any of the tag reports, done anything during COVID-19 other than actually work on an ambulance?
Yes, the chair.
Okay.
Volunteer ambulance mapping tag. NYCEM has provided their draft of all the territories. I did a cursory review with other members on the committee and the volunteer leadership of District 4 and 18. Edits were made, and I presume perhaps even by the end of this week, we'll have a final to hand in to FDNY and to have on file at REMSCO.
Wonderful. Do we need to take any official action, or this is just basically stuff has to be filed and Marie will then take care of it? I'm not aware. Do we as a committee need to take any action?
Well, we're talking about the mapping tag as it is working with the mutual aid agreements that are being developed with the volunteers. So the mutual aid side of it, yes, we do have to look at that.
So yes, so when we get to that point, we'll definitely deal with it. But I think you guys did a wonderful job. You're finishing it up, submit the paperwork, and then we move on to the next stage. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we have to thank Jerry and the volunteers that have been working with Robert Bristol from NYCEM, putting this mapping finally to bed.
Please thank
for a long time.
everybody in the committee for doing the work. It's I know it was a tremendous amount of work, and it's going to pay off when we get to talk about mutual aid, which is very important. Thank you. Are there any other ambulance committee tags that need to be discussed further?
No, the security tag, there has been no specialty vehicles have been requested. We've been issuing regular security stickers, a few at a time every month, but no other tags have met. COVID has really put a damper on a lot of items, so hopefully we can reactivate.
Excellent. Is there any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Marie, there's an item here that Bedford-Stuyvesant VAC requires technical assistance. Can you explain?
Yes, and I'm hoping to get help with that too. The Department of Health has, there are a lot of volunteers, not a lot, but there are enough volunteers that are not run like businesses, and they're limping along on their way towards non-existence if we don't help them. Bed-Stuy is one of the, I guess, worse off volunteer corps. They lost their leader, Rocky, last year, and there was and probably continues to be some kind of internal power struggle. But the Department of Health has put together a stipulation that identifies multiple deficiencies of that core, starting from paperwork, how they maintain it, all the way up to equipment and ambulance and just about everything. So I have been working with them, going over the stipulations and ways for them to improve it. I've dragged Jerry into this also, and he's helped hook them up with the West Queens QA committee, so at least they have QA backup. But it's a lot. They need mentoring, a lot of mentoring. And I was hoping to find one or two people on this committee that would work with me to work with Bed-Stuy. I don't run an ambulance corps, so it's better if they learn from people who actually do it. So I'm asking for anyone who would like to volunteer. It's not something that's going to go on forever. We're going to look at what they need, give them some help on developing policies and procedures and actually implementing them, and helping them to become better operational.
Marie?
Yes?
The leadership of the volunteer sector for the city has reached out at all of our meetings that we are here to provide any support and assistance. So I would probably say the best course of action is to have the current leadership at Bed-Stuy reach out to District 4 and 18 leadership as a group, and we could form a working group to help them. But again, we are putting it out there. It would be up to them to actually do the reach out and cooperate and follow through so they can get back on their feet. But we are here to help, the fellow volunteer squads.
Thank you. And I have directed them to reach out to District 4 and 18. And I have made it clear also that while we can help them and direct them, it's not up to us to fix their ambulance squad. They need to follow through and actually make their ambulance squad work better.
So Marie, would you just follow up with Bed-Stuy to make sure that they know that to reach out, and you report back to us on whether they have reached out and what is being done?
Yeah, and I will copy you on all the reports that I sent to Department of Health, because they too have asked for status reports on what is going on and are they following through.
Excellent. Okay, that takes care of that. Is there any other new business that anyone has? Hearing none, in a moment I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting, and we will reconstitute ourselves at 6 o'clock as REMSCO. You can either leave yourself on Zoom or you can unzoom yourself, and then we'll let you back in at that time, or you can just walk around or stay on and chat with everybody.
Mm-hmm. And to let you know, we're live on YouTube.
Yeah,
So.
be careful what you say. Let's get back to me. I mean, I know it gets back to me, some of you also, but I've gotten comments from people who are.
What time are you starting REMSCO?
6 o'clock sharp, 20 minutes.
6 o'clock sharp. Okay.
Okay, so motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second, Vinnie Barranco.
Okay, anyone opposed to adjourning? Hearing none, I'll mark it as unanimous. We are adjourned. Marie, I'm going to leave it just on, and I'm going to walk away, and I'll be back.
Okay, so everyone can either turn their cameras off or whatever.
You're the host, and people will get stuck in the waiting room. So if you're going to walk away, perhaps open the waiting room and let people in.
Well,
yeah, you can make me the host again, if you don't mind.
I'm going to make you the host. I'll take it back later.
Yeah.
How do I do this more?
You just
go to the participant list. You did.
Yeah. I'm looking for it. Make host. You are now the host.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so be back at 6 o'clock.
Okay, everyone. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. Is there anybody else? Hello, everybody. It's 5:57, 3 more minutes, and we will start the regional council meeting.
Marie, can you just give me the names of the people that are going to review the document? I have Nancy, Scott Orlansky, Dominic Battinelli, myself. Wasn't there one more? You're muted.
Jim Downey has already looked it over.
Oh, Jim Downey, thank you.
Okay. Will the people who only have phone numbers please identify themselves? Because if I don't know who you are, I am going to put you back in the waiting room.
Yeah, hi Marie, this is Lou.
Which number?
917-549-6232.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Who is 646-872-1407? We will be putting you into the waiting room. Bye. Who is 804-241-7452?
Marie, people on the phone need to be unmuted by you before they can unmute themselves.
Yeah, no, I'm muting.
Hi, Marie, can you hear me?
Yes, who's this?
This is Samia. I'm the 804 number. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, it's 6 o'clock now.
Want to look around the room and make sure that you have a quorum.
Okay. 1, 2. And Ryan Greenberg is now, I'm admitting him. Admit. Oops, and admit. And Brian has his baby with him. Hello. Okay. I'm just going to do a roll call. That's the only way I could really tell you whether we have a quorum or not.
Okay.
Okay, so as I call your name, please just speak up. Dove Jacob. You know what? Everyone can
Present.
Okay. I'm trying to unmute everybody.
You'll have a lot of background noise if you do that. I would suggest you keep everybody muted.
Okay. And we're also recording now, and we are live on YouTube. So Dub Jacob is here. Grace Cacciola is here. Christine Mazzola, you're still here, right?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Thanks. And Brad, I see you. Brad Kaufman is here. And Samia McEachin is here. Allison, are you here too? William Goffin
I'm here.
and Dominic Battinelli.
Yeah, I'm here, present.
Thank you. Okay. Danny Mizell's asked to be excused. Joe Marcelino, are you still here? He's the alternate now. Robert Bristol?
I'm here.
Great. John Johnstone?
I'm here.
Thank you. Travis Kessel? I know I saw the name pop up. Travis Kessel?
But when you're done, I'll just, I can click, stop share.
Okay. James Downey?
Present.
Jerry Gelbard?
Need anything else during?
Oh, somebody needs to mute themselves. We can hear your conversation.
Yeah.
David Mekitansky?
How you doing?
Marie, just mute everybody over and over again, and they'll just unmute when they want to talk.
Okay.
If you want to make me the host,
I just muted you. Just give me a second to finish this. Joseph Schenker? I see you laughing, Joe.
I'm here. I'm here. My dog went crazy.
David Benelli? Scott Orlansky? Morty Lax?
Here.
Great. Martina Baccarella?
I'm here.
Nancy Benedetto?
I am here.
Vincent Barranco?
Present and accounted for.
Yes. Arthur Cooper?
Yes, I'm here.
Robert Krupe?
Here.
Megan Farley?
Here.
Manfred Fuchs?
Here. Here.
Thank you. Sean Graves?
Present.
Jerry Gumbo? Yadidja Langsam is here. Brian Levinsky?
Here.
Dennis Laurie? Dennis Laurie, was that you trying to speak? Mitch Powell?
Here.
Okay, thanks. Mike Linehan, you're here too? I know
Yes,
you-
I'm here.
Okay, great. And I think Ryan Greenberg is here also, right, Ryan?
he is.
Welcome.
And Marie, I think Travis Kessel just got on.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw his name. All right, Travis,
Marie.
you're here?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And we definitely have a quorum.
And Marie, Jerry Gumbo was here. I don't think he was unmuted in case you missed it.
Oh, okay, I thought, okay,
Yes, I am.
thank you. You know, it's funny, sometimes you feel like a medium during these calls. You're trying to hear the voices, so.
Okay, so I'd like to call the meeting of the Regional EMS Council of New York City of September 22nd to order. We're operating under an executive order by the governor who allows us to have a remote meeting, provided that it is both recorded and live streamed on YouTube, which we are doing. And because we need to identify people, we will not be able to vote by means of a poll. Rather, every vote will be done through a roll call vote that Marie will do. Before we begin, of course, we need to recognize the fact that this has been a very, very hard summer for all of us, for friends and relatives and patients and all that we do. And it's something we need to just look at each other and say, job well done and thank you. Like I tell my students every morning when I deal with them on Zoom, I know some of you are very shy and don't like to put your cameras on, but I would encourage you to do so. It's a sense of community. It's a sense to see people who are otherwise locked up and don't see each other. And it's just a good idea. I don't want to belabor the point here, but it's a good idea to turn on your camera and people know that you are alive. I have to tell you that in school, I insist that they do it. I kick them out if they don't turn on their cameras, because I don't talk to blank screens. Okay. Before we move on, although I did this at the ambulance committee, it's very important that we recognize that Marie Diglio is now the executive director of all of REMSCO. And while she has a large team working for her, buck stops with her, for better or for worse. I know she's going to put a gun to her head again. Okay. But thank you, Marie, for agreeing to this. And I know how much REMSCO means to you and how much you mean to us. And we appreciate it. And we look forward to working with you from now on. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the June 30th, 2020 meeting minutes. These were distributed by email. I assume everyone did their homework and read them carefully. Are there any corrections? Hearing none.
I have a correction.
Thank you.
I'm listed as a guest. I'm a member.
Okay, Marie, please have that fixed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other corrections? Hearing none, a motion to approve is in order.
Motion, Sean Graves.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second, Vinnie Baranko. Second, Vinnie Baranko.
Thank you. Hey, hearing no further discussion, is really you need to do a roll call vote here. But I'll do it this way. Is there anyone opposed? Hearing none, we will presume that a roll call has been taken and everyone has said yes. So please mark it as being unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the correspondence report. Marie, this is all yours.
Okay, so first and most importantly, we received an application for expansion of territory from Glen Oaks Volunteer Ambulance Corps to take over the area left vacant by Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps, whose certificate was revoked 2 years ago. We also received a letter from the old Bay Community, Bayside Volunteer Ambulance Corps in opposition to that, but that's something that ambulance will be discussing. Okay. I have a letter from Lewis Marshall at Lincoln Hospital identifying that effective July 15th, Lincoln became an LVO thrombectomy center. All of you should have received a copy of the updated appendix with all the new list of primary stroke centers and thrombectomy centers. Okay. And something new that's been going on, I'm not going to list all the certificates that I've gotten, but the New York State Department of Health is now sending us electronically all the ambulance service certificates as they are updated and approved. We have several enforcement actions, only one of which is here in New York City. I'm not going to read them all. They'll be part of the minutes. This one person, Latasha Wright, EMT number 304899. Her certification has been revoked effective July 13th. And I believe she was a member of the fire department And I worked with the fire department with regards to her revocation. And just let me make sure there's nothing else. And that's all I have for now.
Are there any questions for Marie on the correspondence report? Hearing none, we move to staff report. Emergency preparedness update, Scott?
Yes, sir. So the council is currently working with the DOHMH to establish a process in requesting PPE should there be a resurgence of COVID through New York City's vendor Medline. This is meant as a last resort when all other options are exhausted. Only the items, about 12 items of PPE are available for order. Agencies are advised to stockpile PPEs ahead. The city of New York will be looking to recover the cost for the provision of PPE supplies that is not reimbursable under the applicable FEMA emergency reimbursement policy. At this time, the FEMA policy does not enable reimbursement of supplies provided to private for-profit entities. Therefore, New York City will seek cost recovery for these entities. Rate has been set. It's going to be attached to the report. And once the process is finalized, we will share this with our member agencies.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, we move to the program agency update. Marie?
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to, let's see. Program agency and REMSCO contracts have not been finalized yet by New York State Department of Health. This is partly due to the introduction of a new web-based portal for the submission of financial documentation. Another issue is that we've been advised that due to reduction in state funds, regional council and program agency contract funds may be reduced by 20%. And as you know, we haven't received an increase in funds since 1997. Having our funds further restricted will be extremely detrimental to REMSCO and how we function. We are asking that the council recommend a letter be written to the New York State Commissioner of Health, stating the dire financial results that such a reduction in funding will cause to our region and all regions in New York State. And that's something I'd like the council to consider, and then we'll send that.
Let's stop for a moment. Would someone like to make a motion that REMSCO write such a letter, which Marie will write and I will review, to send to the commissioner, urging him to increase the budget?
Yeah. Or just not decrease it.
Well, we might as well ask him to increase it
Yeah.
while we're
Happy
at
to
it.
make a motion.
I'll, yeah,
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Nancy Benedetto seconds.
Any discussion on the motion? I think the motion is well intentioned and should certainly go forward. I don't think they're going to listen to us, but I think we should do it anyway. Okay, so again, is there anyone opposed to this motion? Hearing no opposition, I'll assume that everyone on the roster has voted yay, and therefore it is now been moved unanimously. Thank you. Can you continue with your?
Yes, thank you. Okay. That's enough with program agency for right now. We have gotten paid for our third quarter. Our fourth quarter, we're waiting to see if that, when that goes through the system. And we also have an extension of less than $5,000. Actually, it's $6,000. We're waiting for that also. So we have some money that's trickling through. Okay, I already. Well, I talked about that at ambulance. Bedford-Stuyvesant, we'll talk about that at the ambulance report. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that REMSCO is working with the New York State Office of Mental Health, along with Monty Posner, who's our connection there. we're trying to reactivate our peer response team because of the suicides and the mental health issues that our providers are going through because of COVID and everything they've had to deal with over the past 6 months. We're very fortunate that OEM has, they can't outright give us money, but they've been giving us free training. We have 15 of our providers here in New York City. I think Martina is one of them, going through a train the trainer class for suicide prevention. And once they're trained, they'll be able to hold classes for different agencies in New York City. And Office of Mental Health has also promised online virtual training in mental wellness and suicide prevention for 6,000 of our providers. So that's something that we're going to be putting together online for them. Anyone that is interested in being part of the mental wellness team that we are reactivating, please contact me and we will include you in what we're doing. And we'll be sending out more information as our trainers finish their training and they can go out into the region.
Are there any
Also looking for funding. If anyone has money, you can send it to us.
Are there any questions
Yeah.
for Marie or volunteers to give her money?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Thank you. Going back to the program agency and the regional council contracts for this present fiscal year, I'm assuming that's what you're referring to from the July 1 through June fiscal year that has not been approved. Is it potentially, do you believe that it's going to get approved, or is it just on a hold?
I think
Is
it's
anyone there from the Department of Health that could share that with us?
Well, Ryan is here. I can tell you, I communicated with Tara Papagallo today from Department of Health, and she asked for more information because they are beginning to process the new contracts. But I don't know if Ryan wants to speak on this right now, but he is here.
Ryan, do you want to speak about this now? I guess not. We'll save it for later when under new business, he may want to make some presentation to us.
Yeah. I mean, right now, at this time, it appears that they're going through the process of getting information so they can send out the new contracts. What form they'll be in, I don't know, but.
Marie, it seems like Ryan was trying to talk, but he's having some technical difficulties.
Okay, let me see if I can help him. Hold on, Ryan. Let me see if I can. Here he is. Okay, Ryan's not muted, so it must be something on his end. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get to it later. If I can just comment about how bad, for those who don't realize how seriously the budget problem is. All the City University of New York has a budget that lasts for 1 month at a time. And they're firing all their temporary workers every month and rehiring them the next day, month to month. That's no way of running a university that has over 500,000 students in it. So the budget situation in the state is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else, Marie, from your report?
No, I have nothing further in my report.
Then I'll present the ambulance report, which is the next item on our agenda. The ambulance committee met immediately before this meeting. The main item on the agenda for the ambulance committee was a review of the Glen Oaks VAC expansion, CON, basically expanding into the area of Bayside, which essentially was revoked some time back. The application was sent out to several people, members of the committee, and a motion was made to give them 10 days to review the application, and if they find it complete, then the ambulance committee has deemed it, based on their decision in 10 days, that it is complete. In that case, it will then go on to the public hearing and the next step. Meanwhile, we've also heard from the old and now trying to reconstitute themselves of Bayside, who asked us if we can temporarily stop, but we don't believe that we have the authority to do this. Both teams presented their case at the ambulance committee, even though that was not the time to make any decision, since the only thing before us was whether or not the application is complete. And if the committee to review finds it complete, then the ambulance committee has deemed it to be complete. And then we will move on to a public hearing. And at the public hearing, both parties will be able to present everything that needs to be presented. And then the ambulance committee will then be able to make the decision whether to approve the expansion of Glen Oaks VAC, and then it will come back to the REMSCO based on their application, and then a decision will be sent up to the state. So that's where it stands right now. There were no other reviews of new applications. The ambulance tag reports was reported that the mapping project is just about done. And we thank the committee for all the work that they've done. As soon as they're done, and I understand like in a day or two, it will then move on to the next phase, which is to discuss and go through the mutual aid. And at that point, once all the mutual aids will be considered, it'll come back to ambulance committee and to REMSCO for a formal vote on the mutual aid that we have in this region. Okay. There were no other ambulance committee tag reports. It stands to reason everyone was not really involved in this right now. And then under new business, Marie presented to us that Bedford-Stuyvesant VAC is floundering and they need a lot of help, operational help in getting themselves back to working. The council is working with them, but they need more. And it was reported that they're going to be referred to the volunteer groups in the city who will offer their help, provided they reach out. Marie will shepherd this, and hopefully they will follow through with whatever advice they are given. And if they do follow through, then hopefully they'll be able to get back on their feet. If they don't, then they don't, and then that'll be that. Are there any questions for the ambulance committee? Great, because I have no answers. Okay. We now move to the Training and Education Committee. Where are you, Morty? Go ahead. Unmute yourself. There you go.
I got it. Hi, everybody. So Training and Ed met numerous times in the last period of time since we last met. We have been working on the regional training for the protocol update to line up as much as possible with the materials that were generated by the fire department. Thank you to the fire department for sharing them. The goal is to create something that is pretty uniform across the board. The materials at the fire department are being delivered in person. We're going to be, we are at the final stages of recording, which will hopefully be done at the end of this week, and hope to get this onto the state's LMS. It will run similar to the way that the Department of Health's program ran, with modules and quizzes in between, and then an exam at the end that will generate a certificate. That is basically it. After that, we do have a couple more goals for the coming year, such as the escalation training, among several other things, but the protocol training is the hot topic for today.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Morty? Please take an opportunity to thank your committee for all the work that they're doing during this difficult times. We really do appreciate it. Obviously, work doesn't happen at REMSCO. Work happens behind the scenes. And we really need to remember to thank the committees and the volunteers who are doing this. Thank you.
Certainly will.
We now move to the Regional Emergency Medical Advisory Committee report. I assume Dr. Schenker is the one reporting on this. No?
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. All right. So let me just pull it up. All right. First thing is an action item for this committee. Dr. Matthew Harris was nominated to the pediatric physician seat on REMAC. For those of you who don't know Dr. Harris, he is a board certified pediatric emergency medicine physician, as well as a board certified EMS physician. He's one of the few people in the country that have dual boarded in both PEM and EMS. He was previously on our committee, moved to Denver, and is now returned to the New York area. He is a physician at LIJ, and he has been nominated to the REMAC Pediatric Emergency Physician seat. which requires approval by this body.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Schenker about the individual? Hearing none, is there anyone opposed to him now being a member of the REMAC? Hearing none, I will ask, as we formally say, the secretary to cast a single ballot on behalf of everyone, and he will be approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so the Training and Education Committee gave the same report to us. We hope to be on the New York State LMS by October. The region will be pushing very hard. I have given my word to Ryan that the entire region would be up and running on the new protocols by January 1st, and that training would happen in a timely fashion. So we will definitely be reaching out to agencies to ensure that they are getting their people onto the LMS to appropriately prepare for the change to the unified protocols, which will be in effect January 1. There was some discussion about, because we're on Zoom right now, the time of meetings and whether or not we wanted to make any changes. A poll will be sent out to see if there's any interest in meetings during daytime hours rather than after hours. And that will happen within the next, before the next REMAC meeting. The current stroke program data, the stroke system data, was discussed, and a discussion about the First Watch project, which is the 911 data collection tool that we're using for the not only the 911 FDNY ambulances, but all the 911 system via grant from the the AHA. So that was discussed as well, and more information to follow. And the first reading of our REMAC bylaws was performed. Again, as some of you might know, it requires 3 readings in order for the bylaws to age and be voted on. There was a brief discussion by a informatics physician, and it is the opinion of the protocol of the bylaws committee that that seat can be filled by one of our current seats. So there were no changes made to the bylaws after that discussion. The next meeting will be, I don't know, is that actually, Marie, when is the next? I'm sorry, it's October 20th.
Isn't it subject to the poll that you're going to have?
Well, right now it's set for October 20th. If we make a change, that will happen, and everybody will be made aware of it. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
That is my report.
Thank you very much. Who is giving the Quality Improvement Committee report?
So the Quality Improvement Committee did not meet. They will be meeting, I believe it is the first Tuesday in October via Zoom. Is that correct, Joe?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. So we move on to the State EMS Council report. Dr. Krupe, I believe that's you.
Yeah, hi, thank you. You hear me okay? Okay, good. So REMSCO and CMAC met on August 12th and August 13th. There was an Article 78 proceeding involving North Shore Ambulance and Oxygen. It was filed. The KK and DOH Division of Legal Affairs will conduct a briefing in October. There was an approved motion, a motion to reverse the decision of the New York City REMSCO and uphold the recommendation of the issuance of a CON to Shazdai Deborah, also known as Ezra Snasham. It was announced anyone wanting to assist REMSCO can join a committee. The committee lists are on the DOH website. They will be updated, and individuals do not have to be a member of the state council to join a committee. Under present executive order, EMT paramedics can conduct COVID-19 testing and vaccinations. The executive order will eventually expire, so a motion was made to allow EMS providers who are appropriately trained and equipped to be allowed to do nasal, oral, pharyngeal swabbing and vaccinations. It is within the scope of an EMS provider, when trained and equipped, to conduct oral and nasal pharyngeal swabbing for testing. CMAC believes it is within the scope of practice of all EMS providers to administer vaccinations if so trained. Next year's EMS Memorial was announced that it will be on May 18th, 2021. Okay, and in the works, a couple things going on. There's a new communication document sharing software for REMSCO and CMAC. The tool will be a portal for electronic submission of paper PCRs to go directly to DOH instead of mailing them to regional program agencies. Currently, 50% of EMS agencies are actually, particularly the small ones, still use paper PCRs. BLS first responder documentation standard is coming. It will require less information that transporting agencies than the transporting agency standard. Update to ALS ambulance documentation standard will be coming in the next couple of months. Data standards we post on the website. Quality metrics reporting reports will also be coming soon. There's development of apps for protocols, which will be including statewide and collaborative and regional, including New York City, Nassau, and Suffolk. The wave education, the computer-based training and remote proctoring were implemented. There are issues with program-specific information, such as scheduling and which sites were open and other things. Some of these are still being worked on. Program-specific information is provided for a dedicated phone number for DOH to report problems. One of the things that they're trying to work out is test results not being passed on to the health commerce system. That's been identified. They're working on correcting that. Forms are also being converted to an electronic format. There are new certification cards that are being issued, but renewal certifications are not being sent new cards, but can obtain a health commerce system printout to document the new expiration date. New cards will not be printed at this time for those who have had their certification extended by 1 year. They can also obtain printout from health commerce system to document the new expiration date. The correspondence manual is currently being revised and shortened. The correspondence authorizations were extended through December 3rd of 2020. In education guidance or documents currently being worked on. As far as finance, there's work on 38 contracts for program agencies, REMACs and REMSCOs. Vital Signs Academy actually offered live CME 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, with 5,000 CME hours having been accumulated by providers. The Vital Signs Conference, the decision was made to go virtual this year, and they offered 2 days, each devoted to 4 hours to give CME with presentations and mandatory non-core subjects. The live conference in 2021 will be November 11th through November 14th in Saratoga Springs, New York. Next meetings, CMAC and REMSCO will next meet on October 6th, Tuesday, and Wednesday, October 7th. They will again be virtual meetings, not in person. The EMS for Children meeting actually already held on September 17th. That was a virtual meeting. And the next stack meeting, the State Trauma Advisory Committee, will be held on October 1st, Thursday. Again, that'll be virtual, rather than in person. That's my report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Dr. Krupe? Hearing none, we move to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? I'm not aware of any. Under new business, I don't see that Ryan has returned. Michael Lanahan, do you want to give us any report from the state's perspective?
Ryan is there. I
there?
see his face.
Hi.
Yeah.
There you are. Okay. Ryan, you want to talk to us?
I want to actually first defer to Mike Lanahan and let him give a report first, and then I'm happy to answer any other questions and backtrack a little bit. Sorry about the sound. I switched over to my phone. Seems to be working now.
Great. Go ahead.
Mike, if you're talking, you're on mute.
Yeah, let me see if I can find him. I know he was having some difficulty before. So here he is.
Try to unmute him.
Hey, Marie, I was having some technical issue. Can you just repeat it?
No, we can hear you now. We're just asking if you have any updates for us. We can't hear you.
As of right now, no, I don't have any other updates.
Okay, that's what we were waiting for. So thank you. So now, Ryan, do you have something you want to say or answer questions or what?
So just a couple of quick things. One, for next CMAC REMSCO meeting, the dates are being moved. So forgive me if I missed that briefing. So it's not going to be the first week it was supposed to be on schedule for the first week in October, but just timeline and technology things, it is moved. There is a survey out to whoever your CMAC and REMSCO representatives are to try and get new dates, but it looks like it will most likely be sometime in November. So we're working on those right now, everything else. In addition to that one, to answer Marie's questions and comments from before, there is, we have seen it with many of the payments that are going out, that there's 20% in review. Many people have been saying it's a 20% cut. We have not been told that there is a cut. We have been told that there is 20% in review. And as the state is, working and prioritizing, many payments and then reviewing everything that's coming through. So keeping that one in mind. And it does not mean that there will be, that it will only come at 80%. It's just that there's a, possibility of it, and we have seen that. As far as writing a letter, absolutely, I think that's important, work on or, speak of whatever it is that some of your concerns may be with that going on. But that is some of the big ones there. And then there was I apologize, Doc, there was another question that you had from before that I don't recall at the moment. Or was it just about the funding?
Yeah, I have a question. My question was, are we going to get signed contracts?
Yeah, no, contracts are actually in process. It depends on where you are in Grants Gateway. We have, out of the 38 contracts that are going through, about a third of them are nearing the completion portion. Grants Gateway is again, takes the entire process electronically, opposed to the Nancy probably stacks of paper that you remember from the past in regards to how these contracts work. It takes it all electronically, but you need to make sure that everything is uploaded, all the documents that they need are uploaded. And so what we are finding is that a lot of program agencies and REMSCOs have to go and dig and find certain things that maybe they haven't used in a long time, that Grants Gateway is very particular about in having those. So yeah, those contracts are progressing along, and one really has, nothing to do with the other on that side.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Good
Makes
question.
us happier. It's a good thing.
Any other questions for Ryan?
Sure.
I have a quick question regarding the NAC unit PCRs. It may be a little off topic, but do we know when they're all going to be scanned into image trend?
It is a slow and steady process. We don't have as many people working on it right now as we used to. It's not just scanning it in, it's entering the core information about it as well. So at least we have some demographics. They're actually having the same fields entered in, to the best of our ability, that a paper PCR would have, like a state paper PCR. So that is in the process right now. One of the things that we are also in the process of working on is hopefully the same organization that helps us in entering our paper PCRs is not entering the NAC ones right now, but we are looking at that. We're looking at that as an option to help us speed up in that process.
Yeah, because we have numerous hospitals contacting us that they never received any documents on patients. And when I try and look them up, every single one they're looking for, I don't have.
So I would, you can reach out to Peter at any point, if there's especially if there's a clinical issue or something specific that they need. If you reach out to us, we can, specifically go looking for a subset or specific document. That shouldn't be an issue. But as far as getting into the system, I'll be honest, it would probably be a couple months before it's physically in there.
Okay, thank you.
And actually, Chief, if you just drop me an email, I can, try and see where we are and what a better timeline is for that one.
Great, thank you so much.
Are there any other questions for Ryan while we have him on the hot seat? Hearing none, is there any other new business? Hearing none, before we call for a motion to adjourn, I want to just thank everyone again. An extra thanks for all the work that you've been doing over this very difficult period of time. Marie has unfinished business. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, I'm sure many people knew Renee Sanchez, who, am I saying the name right, one of our instructors who recently passed away. He had been an educator for 3 decades at least, and he recently passed away. So in case anyone here hasn't heard the news, I believe the funeral's already come and gone, but I wanted to just let everyone know.
We're certainly going to have to plan when we do get back together again to have a major memorial session, some kind, ceremony for the New York City area. I'm sure the state is planning one upstate, but we need to do our own, possibly during an EMS week or something where we can focus on all the people who unfortunately are no longer with us. And there are so many of them. People,
Yeah.
family members, people are continuing. I'm having people in my own department in school had several deaths of faculty members who've been there for 40 years, family members. It doesn't stop. I don't need to tell everyone about this. We need to be sane. We need to redouble our efforts. We need to reach out to each other when we're feeling alone and lonely, and whatever we need to do, we'll get through this. We have a great team, all of you sitting here, and there are 38 people sitting in this room, and I don't know how many people are listening in to us remotely. We're a great team, and we can do it, and we will do it, and hopefully very soon we'll be able to get back together to what we call New York City normal. So hearing no other new business, will someone make a motion to adjourn?
I just have one comment, if you don't mind. Vinny Barranco.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to bring you up to speed, and Dr. Krupi mentioned it about the New York State Vital Signs Academy. Truly, truly, truly a valuable resource. John McMillan and his Jennifer and Valerie, unbelievable great CMEs. I've taken personally over 20 courses during the night, you know, when they have the classes or even online. But the most valuable piece that I found was a course on there. It's 2 courses. It's called COVID-1 and COVID-2, EMT and paramedic training from A to Z on COVID. From unbelievable, the amount of detail that went into that. I actually took my agency and required every EMT and every paramedic working in my agency during the summer to take COVID-1 and COVID-2 and present certificates of completion in preparation of the potential outbreak that's coming this fall. So I highly suggest everybody that's on to kind of go on there and look at those programs, and valuable resource for education of EMTs and COVID, plus many, many other subject matters. It's a great platform, a very great platform.
Nice.
Marie, can you send out to all the agencies in the city some?
I do. I actually, whenever I get the information from Valerie, I send it out to all the agencies, and I am sending it out to REMAC and REMSCO members too. So, and I just posted it on our website.
Maybe a compendium should be sent out of what's available now, you know, the whole list that's available, and recommend that people go there. Just send it out as a mass mailing to everyone.
Sure, I'll send it out again, no problem.
Thank
We
you.
normally send out the next week's lectures on Friday afternoon. So we try and Thursday or Friday, we try and get it out. There's a flyer that can be posted. Again, it's 100% free for all New York State providers, and that tells you what's going on next week. There has been a lot of questions on, you know, when does it appear up on the LMS as a self-learning opportunity, and we are trying to keep up with that. It's a slow process to convert everything over and everything else, but they will eventually get there as well.
Thank you, Ryan. It really is a valuable thing, as was just pointed out to all the members here. And we know that you guys are working just as hard, even though I always have nasty things to say about everybody.
Yes, he does.
Doing a really good job up there right now. And please tell the team that New York City appreciates them.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
Okay, a motion to adjourn is now.
Can I just say one thing to Joe Ranieri? If he could get in touch with me, DO IT is forcing us to change the code plugs on our radios with the encryption. None of your radios are going to work unless we either work something out to get your radios upgraded or you get new radios. So if you can reach out to me, the radio shops are willing to try and work something out with you to try and at least get your radios functioning.
That would be very important. Maybe at the next REMSCO meeting, we can have a report from both sides of how that's progressing.
Okay,
So that,
Thank you.
big interest to everybody here. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Anybody else want to break in with
Motion to adjourn.
a second?
Second, Goffin.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much. See you in a month.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone. Stay
Thanks,
safe.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Ta-ta.
Bye. I'm gonna let everybody sign off.
I want to see who's going to be the last one on.
That's right. Like, good
Jerry's
night,
still
job
there.
boy. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now I'm
Battle of
going.
the wits. All right, goodbye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.